Today, let's explore moving in like a flowy way. So we'll do some simple movements, and I want you to keep it quite gentle, not straining or forcing, but just moving with your breath and in a way that feels helpful to warm up your body and release tension. From the floor, if you have your knees bent and stretch your arms out to either side. Just start with a little windscreen wiper twist. Taking your knees from one side to the other. Find a way of connecting this movement to your breath. So your breath and this movement synchronize in a slow way. Going really super slowly with all of this flowing movement. Paying attention to what feels good in your body today. Then bring your knees to the middle. Bring your arms in and bring your knees in towards your chest. And then hold onto the back of your thighs and rock a little from side to side with your knees in close to your chest. You can have your knees a little bit wide or knees together, whatever feels good. Just really simple movements. Sometimes it's good to let go of the idea of being yoga too formal and too strict and just explore movement. Like whatever movement would feel good right now. If you feel like you want to go into some kind of freestyling thing, just do that. Give yourself permission to move. Excellent. I can see some interesting things happening with feet. Cool. Okay, then draw that to a close. Roll onto one side. And then sit up. As ever, if it would be more comfortable to sit on a block or something, do feel free to sit on something. And then sit cross-legged if that's comfortable. Otherwise, you could straighten out one or both legs if that will work better for you. See, my mat is partially occupied by a little cat, but I think I've got space for what I want to do. We'll play with a side bend from here. Take your right hand onto the floor. Inhale and lift your left arm up into a side bend. Not being too precise about this. Exhale, lean forwards, sweeping your hand from one side to the other. Only doing this in a way that feels comfortable for your shoulder. Then inhale, lean back a little bit, take your arm behind, and then back into the side bend. So it's kind of exhaling, coming forwards, inhaling, leaning back. Again, playing with this, you could make this movement quite small, You could make this movement bigger. You could play with taking the arm higher or lower. Perhaps letting your spine get involved with this as well. So not being too fixed in your torso. Perhaps coming a little bit forwards, a little bit backwards. Hi, Eira. Okay. And then just bring both hands into your lap or onto your knees. Just becoming static for a moment. With deep inhales and long exhales. Noticing the shift from movement to stillness. You're very, very lucky today. You're getting like some cat wrestling time. Okay, and then if you're sitting cross-legged, cross your legs over the other way. We'll do this side bendy, sort of flowy side bend the other way. So left hand on the floor, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, leaning forwards. Arm crosses to the other side. Inhale, sitting upright, take your arm back. And then playing with this however feels good for you. Paying attention to your arm, your shoulder, your back, anywhere else that feels tweaky. Just giving yourself permission to play or move or do things differently if that would feel nicer right now. Okay, finish off. Bring both hands into your lap or onto your knees. Just dropping into stillness for a moment. And then come onto your hands and knees. We'll do some pelvic tilts first. So just focusing on locking around the sacrum and the base of the spine to begin with. And you can do this on your hands or on your forearms. So inhale and let the front of your pelvis drop down a little bit, lower belly drops down. And as you do that, your tailbone tilts up. Then exhale, pull your lower belly in and up. Tailbone tilts down. So inhale, reversing. Belly drops down, tailbone tilts up. Exhale, tailbone down, belly up. Doing this a few more times. Feeling the flowing nature of this movement potentially. Just even this simple tilt, there's an ebb and flow to it as you slowly warm up. And then let's come into a child's pose for a moment. So take your hips back towards your heels. Head relaxes forwards. Arms could be forwards or next to your legs, whatever feels comfortable. Shifting for a moment into stillness. And then come back onto your hands and knees to do a cat-cow with a bit of forwards and backwards movement as well. So as you inhale, do the cow. Tailbone tilts up, belly drops down, chin lifts. But I also want you to bend your elbows and bring your center of gravity forwards a little bit. Then reverse all of that. Tailbone tilts but down, mid-back pushes up, head relaxes, and your center of gravity moves back a little, as if you were heading into child's pose, but not going all the way into child's pose. So inhale, arching, traveling forwards. Exhale, rounding, traveling backwards. Again, playing, doing anything you want to do, even if it's a totally different thing. Continuing that with a couple more rounds. And then finish off with cat-cow and come into child's pose again. Let's do a version this time with the knees wide, toes together, hips coming back, head resting down or relaxing towards the floor, or making a pile with your forearms, and that's resting in child's pose. Then ease out of child's pose and come onto your back. We'll do half bridge lifts with a roll to begin with. So you'll need a rolled up mat or a block or a folded cushion. No, you can't help me, Eira. So if you set up on your back with something squeezable between your thighs, feet set up as if feet set up in bridge position, arms resting on the floor. Great. And then finding your own way of linking this with the breath. Just play with lifting up into like a really low bridge, lifting your hips up, and then coming down to the floor. Just doing a moving bridge. However would feel good for you right now. As fast or as slow as feels good right now. After that round, just remove the prop from between your thighs and pause. Noticing how your experience is different in stillness as opposed to in movement. Next we'll work with dipping frog. I'm going to show this like from an angle. There we go. There we go. So we'll do dipping frog. I'm going to talk you through 2 rounds, and then you can do some rounds on your own. Hopefully when I'm not talking to you, you can find more of your own flow with it. Start with both feet up off the floor. Inhale and internally rotate your right leg. Press your lower back down. Exhale, dip your right heel down towards the floor, keeping your lower back pressed down. Inhale, right leg comes back up. Internally rotate your left leg. Press your lower back down. Exhale, left heel dips down towards the floor. Inhale, leg comes back up. Now take both legs into frog. Both knees and feet are quite wide. Exhale, gather your belly in. That's 1 round. Inhale, knees back together. Internally rotate your left leg. Press lower back down. Exhale, left foot dips down towards the floor. Inhale, left foot comes back up. Internally rotate right leg. Exhale, right heel dips down towards the floor. Inhale, leg comes back up. Bring both legs into frog. Exhale, gather your belly in. Great. Now do 2 more rounds, 2 more sets of 3, just in your own rhythm, own rate. Perhaps be more playful about this movement than you might usually be. And after those 2 rounds, bring your head to the floor, bring your feet to the floor. Let's do like a hamstring stretch. Bring your left knee in towards your chest and then stretch your left foot up towards the ceiling. Hold on to your leg if you can. It's okay for the knee to be a little bit bent if it needs to be. And then do some slow movements with your foot, with your ankle. So you're rotating on your ankle. And then rotate the other direction. Notice if that feels different. And then play with moving that leg any way that you want to right now. Just moving your left leg in space, moving your foot, moving your ankle. Like dancing with your left leg, however you want to. Great. And then bend your left knee, bring that foot to the floor, and lift your right leg up. Start by straightening your right leg up in the air, holding on to it, and doing some rotations for your right ankle. Feeling for getting your whole foot involved. And then rotate your foot and your ankle the other way. Yeah, moving at the ankle. And then do some like freestyle dancing with your right leg. Any way your right leg wants to move in the air. Perhaps also moving your foot, your ankle too. Okay. Then bring your right foot down to the floor. Roll onto one side and sit up. Awesome. Let's do a bit of work standing now. So make your way up to a standing position. And then we'll come into some rolling up and down twists. Hi, little cat. So let's do this with the feet hip joint distance apart, like in mountain pose. And again, this works really nicely if you connect it with your breath. Let's inhale, come into a tiny standing back bend, telescoping your ribs up, lifting your chest. Exhale, let your head come forwards, round your back. Bend your knees as you come down into a forward bend. Only going as far as feels comfortable for you. Let's inhale here in the forward bend. Then as you exhale, slightly pull your belly in as you come up. Coming back up to standing. Inhale into a mini back bend. Exhale into a forward bend. Going slowly. Doing this in a way that feels good for you. Once you're in the forward bend, inhaling deeply. And then coming back up on an exhale. Continuing this in your own way. Keeping it quite slow and mindful, though, not kind of throwing yourself into forward bends and back bends. Just feeling what feels useful in your body right now. Maybe doing one more before coming into mountain pose. Not rushing, really taking your slow time. Finding your way after that one into mountain pose. And then come into warrior two. So face one along sides of your mat. And set up your legs for warrior two with your left toes turned out and left knee bent, right leg straight. And then we'll do kind of a movement between reverse warrior and extended warrior. So I'll talk you through one round and then you can just keep freestyling it. So inhale, arms out. Exhale into extended warrior. Left forearm is on your thigh. Right hand could be on your hip or up in the air. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale to reverse warrior, leaning the other way. Now the right hand's on the leg, left hand is up in the air, or left hand could be at the side. And then play with that. So letting go of the poses, Just playing with this side bendy vibes with your legs in Warrior Two. And then take a break. Make your way into mountain pose with your feet parallel. Having that moment of stillness. And then setting up the other way around. So this time having your right toes turned out in Warrior Two. Right toes turned out, right knee bent, left foot bent in a little bit. Great. Inhale, arms reach out into Warrior Two. Exhale, playing with some version of Extended Warrior. Inhale to Warrior Two. Exhale to Reverse Warrior, or some version thereof. And then just keep playing, sort of giving yourself permission to explore whatever variation of these movements feels good, whether it's static, whether it's moving. Whether it's fast, whether it's slow. And then make your way into mountain pose. Coming back to balance, coming back to stillness. Going back to just because there's still a flowing thing happening, your breath is still ebbing and flowing. If you'd like to practice with me again another time, I do have other classes out there for free in the wild on my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Inspiratrix Yoga. If you go there, do click on the subscribe. Subscribe and then the bell icon, and then you'll find out when I put new videos. I also have lots more videos in my virtual yoga vault. That's an on-demand library available to Inspiratrix Yoga members. My monthly membership is ridiculously good value. It's like super cheap, and you get access to a couple of Zoom classes a week with me, also a monthly more in-depth yoga workshop, on-demand classes, and other fun stuff as it happens as well. So I may see you inside the membership. Otherwise, enjoy the classes on YouTube.